Eswatini reminds me of home. Coming into Eswatini in January of the 16th, I mean, it feels like 5 years since I've been here, whereas it's only about 11 months. I'm starting my 12th month tomorrow, the day after. But in the time I have been here, as I've said, it feels like home. There's a sense of warmth here that you don't quite experience when you travel the rest of the world. But just being here, I was received very warmly, and I must appreciate the community for that. My children were embraced. They have found friends within WK. My family has found a home here, and we've been very happy. The weather sometimes has a mind of its own. I keep saying I can never get to understand the mist in our fields here, and the sudden warmth and the rains and the storms, and then of course there is a blazing sunshine. Yesterday was sweltering in Malolocha, and having to contend with the weather that has a mind of its own is something else. But other than the weather, I think I've been very happy here, well received, appreciated, supported, and I'm very happy where I find myself at the moment. I mean, beginning with the Michael Stan lecture, I sit here very humbled to be sharing a desk with Michael Stan. I mean, this was a desk that was gifted to Michael Stan, and for me being able to have an opportunity to experience what he experienced within the four walls of this particular room is so humbling. There is nothing that I can actually use to describe the feeling. And so playing host to the Michael Stan lecture for me was an incredible moment. It was my very first encounter with the WK community in the sense of thinking about the accomplishments that Michael Stan had made, and also how significant that was to this community. The nobility and the idea that sprouted into this whole institution for me is not something that can be gainstated. So I think having experience with the Michael Stan lecture for me was a first of many, and just a reminder of the incredible work that has gone before us, and the legacy that has been created, and the work that we have to take on in order to live up to that expectation and the legacy. So for me, Michael Stan lecture was an opportunity to reflect on the accomplishments, but also to think about what the opportunity provides for me being here in this position and being able to move the community forward in the footsteps of Michael Stan. And moving on from Michael Stan, we had the 60th anniversary. Of course, we had the media breakfast, an opportunity that afforded us a chance to be able to engage with our stakeholders and the community within Eswatini and beyond, and just spell out our objectives and what our goals are as an institution, bounded very closely by what our mission and vision about WK is about. So engaging with the media, and oftentimes people do not necessarily think about the impact of that, but I think it's quite significant for you to think about your relationships with the external community through the media. And for me, engaging with them was an opportunity to just talk to the community and our stakeholders about what it is we want to do and achieve at WK. I mentioned the 60th anniversary celebration. That was a moment in time. I don't think we can ever really be 60 twice. So having that golden opportunity to be able to celebrate the remarkable accomplishment by our founders and the community, our alumni, our friends, and our students and staff here it's like homecoming for everybody. Yes, a moment to celebrate and look back and think about what it is we want to achieve in the next 60 years. So as we said, during the 60th anniversary, we launched our strategic plan. And within that strategic plan, we have some strategic imperatives that we want to pursue within the next 5 years or so. And thinking about such feats as the 60th anniversary then allows you to reflect on not just what you want to do in terms of the strategic plan, but the possibilities that lie beneath those particular statements that have been spelled out by the community. So for me, the aspect of sustainability really rides high when it comes to our strategic plan, and not just financial, but also environmental sustainability, which the UWC is very big on, and also celebrating our diversity through provisions of linguistic, opportunities for our students to pursue mother tongue in other languages, in their home languages. These kinds of things really speak to what IUWC education is about. And when we think about well-being, in the world we live in today, not many people, spend a lot of time thinking about well-being, and yet well-being is the essence of humanity. If you want an incredible existence and a life that is worth living, then you have to think about well-being. So when we go back to our strategic plan launched in that particular season of celebration of the 60th anniversary, for me it speaks to who we are as a community and where we want to go, what we want to achieve, and who we are working with to get that accomplished. So I'm very, very happy about that. You also spoke about other accomplishments within the year, such as our service initiatives, as well as our pedagogical, experiences within and outside of the classroom. And I must say that WK is a unique school. We are not just a school about grades and grades and grades and thinking about what it is that we are churning out in terms of our graduates. I always say you are judged by the value of your product. And if our students are going to stand as the kinds of students that speak about our mission and vision, then of course it's about not just the pedagogy within the classroom, but also everything else that is outside of the classroom that holistically creates that formation for our students. So just the kinds of work that our staff have to do with our students on a day-to-day basis, both in the residences, within the classrooms, in our fields, in the music. We've had incredible shows. I'm blown away every time Mark and Eze have to put up an ensemble for the community. Those evenings well spent, whether it's a rainy, dreary evening or it's a blazing afternoon and the marimbas are at what they do best. It's just been fantastic. I think the year has been incredible. Our students do amazing things. Our staff are fantastic when it comes to supporting our students. I couldn't ask for more. When it comes to the maintenance department and our Maggies and the Barbies down there, I mean, they make this place move. There is a rhythm and a heartbeat that has been developed in WK just because of the people, and it is that which we celebrate on a day-by-day basis. You can never have an institution running if you don't have good policies in place. And policy is about thinking of the structures, the processes, and the systems that you put together. So policy drives your operations. Without quality policies, then you will not have quality structures and processes, and therefore your operation will not be worth its while. So what we have done in terms of policy review, and many times we've had to rethink whether we have policies that really speak to what we are about. So we've thought about our different departments in terms of what does our finance office, for example, require? And at that point in time, we had to come up with the procurement policy. And in the procurement policy, we're able to streamline processes and systems in the sense that everybody who comes into the institution has a solid understanding of how it is we procure our goods. We speak about our suppliers and the processes within that particular organization, as well as our debtors and how we align those systems to work seamlessly for us. In an institution, cash flow is a big deal. And if you cannot control the cash flow, then it means you have no institution to run. So it is very important and incumbent on our parts to be able to think about whether our procurement policy and the tendering process that comes with it is working to what it is that Waterford deserves as an institution. So the procurement policy was one such policy that we had to draft, as well as a couple other policies that help us. For example, the medical aid policy, the retirement policy, which for us was an area that needed a lot more work, particularly for the HR department, as well as the safe hiring policy, because in the world we live in, and I've said this before when I spoke about well-being, I think it is important that we think about who our students are and what it is that we have to do to meet them at their points of need. So in terms of safeguarding, policy and the safe hiring policy, we're very big on who it is that engages with our students, whether it is in the trainings that we offer to our staff, whether it is the emancipation programs that we put together for the students themselves. Every single person has to read from the same script when it comes to how we safeguard our students, and therefore the safeguarding policy for us was something that we needed to think through very carefully, think about the undertaking to the safeguarding policy itself, as well as all the processes that are around pastoral systems and structures, our assessment policy within the classrooms, and how we articulate matters regarding assessment with all the assessment teams that we put together from the academic side of the school. So we've got a number of policies that we have had to review, all the way from finance, HR, academics, to all the other little policies that work in between, to ensure that we are giving value to what it is that we have been tasked with in our role of care as an institution. Our alumni and our donors really are the ones who tell our story. There is no way you can tell your story besides that which has been experienced by the very people who have had a significant or spent a significant amount of time within WK. And so to our alumni, they are Waterford, they are Kamhlaba. There is no way they can go anywhere in the world and not talk about the experience here. And those lived experiences are very important, because in life, it's all about your experiences. It is John Dewey who says that an education is only as good as the experiences that the students have. And I know that in WK, our students have spent a vast number of years here, some as much as 7 years. I was reading about the survivors the other day when we had graduation, and I'm told everybody who's been here for 7 years is a survivor. So all the way from the survivors of 7 years, and those who had as little as 2 years here in the national committee system, who went to the IB diploma program. You are WK regardless of the number of years that you spent here. And it is important to always remember where you came from, because here is home, and you start to change the world by changing your own home. And there is no reason for anybody who has passed through these lands and traded our granite rocks here, walked to our Tom and Kelly hills, up the mountain down to Elangeni, and not be able to reminisce on the significance of the time that they spent here. We want our alumni to always remember that where you have found value in the education system that has been accorded to you or afforded to you, you need to always come back and be able to relate, share your experiences, how you have been blessed in the world with those who are here. It's like paying it forward. It's like giving back to your community through the service that has been inculcated into you during the time that you are here in WK. And to our donors, we can't do this without you. You are part of why we do what we do. And we rely so much on your support, because it's a partnership. We can never really go it alone. They say no man is an island. And that is very true for WK as well. So it is important that our donors always remember that we are very grateful. We are indebted and deeply indebted to you because of the significant contributions that you have made to the lives of the children and the young adults who have found themselves in WK. All the way from Davis Shelby, with the wonderful scholarship opportunities that you have given to our community here. These children are forever grateful. The WK community is forever grateful. And we've got philanthropists and partners who have also walked the walk with us, and we are forever grateful for the support that they have accorded us in terms of providing scholarship opportunities, especially for the less fortunate students, and also for those who have not been able to, in one way or another, support their own studies here. So we must always remember to be grateful, and we really are grateful. I cannot say I'm nervous. I am a teacher by profession. My first calling is in the classroom, and I'm always intrigued when people say that they're nervous about results. Results are results. You can never run away from that. But I think it's the most important thing is the process and the experience. And I always say, if the experience is great, never worry about the product, because it is given that if you put in a good amount of work and you have been committed to the process right from the beginning, there is nothing to worry about in terms of results. Results are results. That's why they're called results. They will come and go. Our students will forever be grateful for the experience. And I always say it's not just any experience, but the lived experience that they had in those classrooms. Graduation was fantastic. And you should have just seen our students and how they were strutting along the stage to receive their certificates. I wish them all the best, and I know they're going to do great. Whatever they get, whatever scores they have at the end of the day, it is important that you think about the next stage of your life, because what you want to do with what you have is the most important, rather than what you have and not know what to do with it. This is my very first year and first experience with the United World College movement. And I think if there is anything in the world that sets us apart from any other education system, it is the UWC movement itself. It's like a family affair. And within a family, there are certain things that bind that family, that speak about the value systems, that speak about what it is that makes them unique. And within the UWC family, as I may call it, is the fact that no other entity in the world does what we do. No other entity in the world is committed to a system of admission that is very targeted towards diversity and giving opportunities to students from everywhere in the world to come together into one particular common pool and be able to find meaningful existence within that particular setting. So for me, the UWC in itself is a model that every educational organization in the world should emulate. They should benchmark with the UWCs, because it is what speaks about what the essence of humanity is through an education. So getting the United World Colleges and understanding and appreciating what the national committees do, what the intentional programs are, is what is really the value. And in this year, I've had an experience where the heads have come together and we're able to bounce ideas off each other. And that's very helpful, particularly with the challenges that we continue to face in our world today, especially with issues regarding conflict in certain parts of our world, and the fact that you can never really know how one reaction may lead to another, or set up a chain reaction for that matter. So just being able to have a group of heads come together in very frequent meetings, speak about these issues freely and compare and share best practices has been quite fulfilling, and it's an eye-opener and very enlightening for me, particularly because I'm able to see that it doesn't matter where you're located, it doesn't matter what your cultural background is, it doesn't matter what it is that you're grappling with in your part of the world. What matters is that you share these experiences, and there's a learning that comes from the sharing, and there is a moving forward with a very intentional purpose. And for me, that is what the UWC is about. I'm very grateful to have learned, I'm very grateful to have shared, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity that this has provided WK, because at the end of the day, it's about, again I say, experience, it's about sharing, it's about best practice, it's about moving together with one common purpose. You are incredible. I mean, giving of your life, sharing your families, being able to live your life in WK and impact the community from students to staff is phenomenal. I mean, it's like a sacrifice of your entire life into one common purpose. We value you for what you have been able to contribute to WK. And it's not an exodus. It is moving on, because in life there is a time for everything. It is finding an opportunity to impact the world in a different setting, and that is very important. So from me to you, it's just a question of gratitude and saying thank you for serving WK. Thank you for giving of yourself. Thank you for giving of your time. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us and your knowledge. I mean, it's not every day that you come across somebody who's been in one particular position for 20 plus years. That is a significant contribution that you have made. And we're very happy that you are moving on to other things, be it retirement, because I know we've got colleagues who are retiring. We wish you the very best in your retirement. Retirement is a time to sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. and I'm sure that you're going to have fun enjoying your retirement. For those of our colleagues who are moving on to other ventures, again, as I say, it's a time for you to focus on something that is different from WK, because that is meaningful to you. And as long as you're happy and it makes you productive, then we wish you the very best. Farewell. We will meet again. You're always Kamhlaba, because you started as Kamhlaba. Thank you for your service. The Waterford community. I'll start with Eswatini, because Eswatini is our host country. Thank you very much, Eswatini, for being a humble country. Thank you for loving Waterford. Thank you for believing in Waterford, because Waterford has a wonderful place in your country. It serves the community through service ventures. We touch every single corner of this particular country with our service ventures, with the opportunity for our students to engage with the community. So I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you, Eswatini, for being a wonderful host country to this very humble UWC in Southern Africa, and to the community here in WK. Once a Waterfordian, always a Waterfordian. Once a WKN, always a WKN. Once a Kamhlaban, always a Kamhlaban. You've been fantastic this year. We have had our moments where we've got our own set of challenges internally, but everybody has stood together. We have one common purpose, and that sense of purpose is what has driven us to be able to accomplish, go around our challenges, and be able to come at the other end with successes. I'm very happy for you to take a break now, because it is important that you recharge, that you get together with your families, that you take care of yourselves away from the world of work, because it is important for your soul, it is important for your spirit, for you to rejuvenate, for you to think about what it is that you want to accomplish in the coming year. That is important. But the most important thing is to rest, because at the end of the day, you're only going to be productive if you take time away and be able to, recharge, find yourself again one more time, get your energies roaring for 2024. Thank you for 2023, because it was a significant year. And I've said we've grown, and we can grow even better. We've had our learnings, we have had our opportunities. It is now time for us to put those on the table and be able to go into 2024 with our heads intact and say, we've got this, we can do this, and we're going to do it in only a way that we know as WK. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas for those of you who are Christians, and a happy, happy New Year 2024. I look forward to seeing you on the other side as we cross over into the new year. Stay blessed. This is your Principal Jackie Otula.